Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One from 2018. So yes, we are back once again, and very exciting to discuss this film here. Yet another Spielberg film, and yes, a film that I'd been, I had actually in my collection, for some time really, and I'd been looking forward to this for a while, and here it is on Blu-ray, of course, Ready Player One, and sitting down to watch this film for the first time actually, around 15 days ago now, and yes, having a really nice time with this one. So yes, there will be spoilers, in this kind of discussion here. I'll get into a few kind of plot points, events in the film. Although this is not going to be, a massive, in that sense, kind of breakdown of this film. I could probably say more about this film, on a rewatch or two. With that said, though, if you haven't seen this film, of course, I recommend seeing it first and then coming back to this discussion. So yes. Once again, saying all that, here we are, finally here to discuss Ready Player One, a film that I'd heard, many things about, but not looking into the actual main kind of plot here, and I didn't really know too much about this, other than the cast and just the general sense, of this film referencing, of course, many different films, and obviously as well featuring this kind of virtual world. That's really all I knew about this film. I didn't know what was going to happen and all this kind of stuff. Always, as I always do, really, I tend to avoid looking at trailers even actually for most films these days, at least, because they do kind of give away, I find a lot of the film, and I just like to kind of go into a film, the kind of without knowing too much at all, and perhaps, yes, a general sense of the plot, but even then, sometimes I just go in blind and, just kind of put my faith in the filmmakers that I'm kind of, watching. And of course, in this case, Steven Spielberg, who is, well, if you follow my channel, you'll know how high this guy is. My favourites, favourite filmmakers, of course. He is one of the absolute, one of the absolute greatest for me, and just represents, especially with his peaks, his absolute greatest films, represents just cinema to me. And yes, it was great to kind of see this film. It's kind of a return to, in the sense of, what is in this film, and the actual genre, of course, and the film, you could say, the tone of this film, and stuff, and being, kind of a full-on blockbuster. It is a return to that kind of, the kind of genres, kind of way in which Spielberg was making films, many years ago. You could say, because it's very interesting. This century, he has gone into different directions, and he doesn't really make, I guess, anymore too many, you could say, films like this, like, for example, Jurassic Park and all these kinds of blockbusters in this sense, and ones that, kind of upbeat, energetic in that sense, and yes, very interesting as well, being another sci-fi film, and this is, a sci-fi adventure, of course, set in the year 2045, and we have, yes, this kind of virtual world, the Oasis, and we have this, characters actually being able to go into the world by using their avatars, and obviously controlling them as well, and it's just, really creative, this film, and just so the way this film opens up, it's just so, kind of energetic, hearing as well the song Jump by Van Halen, it's just an epic moment that I loved, and just seeing the way in which Spielberg is kind of introducing this world visually as well to us as a viewer. It's just so so on point, and I was just kind of instantly drawn in to this world, and just wanting to know more about this. And of course, we have this kind of game that is featured in the film, and created the Oasis, of course, by James Halliday, and played by Mark Rylance, and he is great in this film, for the record. But we have this game, and of course, by winning, the free keys, the player can then, of course, gain access to the main aim of the game being collecting the golden Easter egg, and through that they can then, kind of gain ownership of the Oasis, and it's a really interesting kind of setup, one that is nice and you could say layered at times. This whole kind of world, this universe, and the actual rules of the game, and the kind of the way in which players, the backstory to this, in the sense that it's kind of built up. No player has ever kind of gotten these keys, and got to the final kind of stages of this game, and it's really well built up, as I say. But we have this, and in the end, the player can then kind of gain ownership, of course, yes, to the Oasis, and claim it as theirs. And we have essentially villains of the film, led by of course. Ben Mendelsohn, and he is essentially this, the CEO of IOO, and he is, yes, the villain of the film. Although there is some complexities later on in the film that kind of perhaps humanise his character. But we have this, yes, this character, of course, and he, yes, wants to kind of claim as well, the Oasis, and kind of he represents, and his kind of corporation represents the theme of greed, you could say, in the film, and it's very, very obvious the different themes in this, but there's so much going on that it's going to be nice to kind of rewatch this as well, to kind of pick up, for example, on the references, many, many different references, and kind of blink and you'll miss it, kind of thing, because I saw a few, quite a few in the film, but I guess I missed many as well, and it'd be nice to kind of see them again, going through the film. But it isn't just this kind of gimmicky kind of film where we have these references. It's so kind of creative elsewhere, and I think visually it's really great at times, and of course Alan Silvestri scoring this film, to me, Alan Silvestri, is just one of the best film composers, in cinema history, and just once again here providing a wonderful score, one that's epic and magical as well. I think the final, kind of parts of the film, it's just so, stunning at times. Just really classic Spielberg, at times, in the final act of the film, and we have many different moments, of just wonderful action here on display. Just epic moments. Of course, we have the Iron Giant featured quite heavily in the final act, especially of the film, and just the epic moments with the kind of different battles, and the different fight scenes, in the film. It's just so enjoyable to see, and I love as well. Early on, we have this kind of race, which is one of the kind of stages, of the game, and winning this race, one would earn, kind of, access to this, the first key, of this game, and it's kind of famously, no player has ever kind of won this this first key even. So of course, Artemis, is one of the characters, aka Samantha. She kind of, that's her avatar though, and played by, of course, Olivia Cooke, and she, though Artemis, is kind of one of the players trying to as well really go all the way, and trying to get this key, and she kind of comes into it very soon, into the kind of race section here. And of course, Ty Sheridan plays kind of the protagonist of the film, Waithe, and his avatar is called Parzival, and here's this is our protagonist, this kind of, you could say, energetic character, and I really enjoyed, the character of Parzival, and the real life kind of, the real world kind of character or rendition of this, being Waithe, and I thought it was a good character, very enjoyable at times, and I did enjoy the performances, in this film, but I think my favourite, kind of. Character is kind of the virtual world, being Parzival. He is much more interesting, I think, and I generally think this throughout the film. A lot of the kind of virtual world characters, avatars, of the different characters, are more interesting or enjoyable as well than the real world. You could say characters, but I do generally kind of enjoy the sense of the team up, the kind of feel good feeling of that, and the different characters kind of banding together, meeting up throughout the film, and I did really enjoy the kind of reveals, the real life kind of reveals of, for example, different side characters, the avatars, that are featured fairly early on. We have the kind of team being the High Five team, and just these characters when they are revealed in the real world, it is nice to see. It's kind of this novelty, seeing what they actually look like, and it's really a great moment. I find at times when they're revealed individually. Having said that, I don't think the actual characters, in this film, are anything special really. Just personally, I don't really find, they are, kind of masterful characters in that sense, and ones that are individually perhaps, highly compelling. I just really enjoyed the characters. I found them to be, kind of, you know, enjoyable, nice, you know, the kind of interactions at times, and just warm. And there was kind of things to root for within different characters, but it's a film that I find is more of this, you know, feel good kind of family film, you know, more about the experience, the thrill ride, and just the adventure, and you know, I guess more about the actual, you know, virtual world, the kind of game that they're playing, than perhaps, you know, it's not a film that, you know, in that sense involves me thoroughly within these characters. I was more kind of interested in, I guess, you know, James Halliday and the kind of exposition, you know, early on. You know, I was really gripped with this. You know, in fact, I think the first, you know, kind of half an hour or so of the film was mostly, you know, kind of stunning, and I really loved it. And I think the race early on, as I say, you know, it featured early on, you know, it's just a great moment, and I loved the different kind of ways in which, you know, Kong, for example, was kind of going about and stopping the players, you know, from getting through the race, and of course the T-Rex is featured, obviously Jurassic Park reference there, but many different moments here were just so energetic, and you know, so fully realised at times that I was so invested and having a great time. And I think the middle of the film perhaps you know, has some for me personally some flat moments, and you know, moments that didn't really connect, you know, I didn't connect to as much. Having said that, you know, I find this film to be, you know, just a really pleasing experience, and I think by the end of this, you know, and the kind of whole kind of final act, I guess, really came together quite wonderfully at times, and I really loved at times, you know, the kind of final action scenes, massive, grand, kind of epic, you know, sequences, you know, bombastic, and just so many different characters, you know, kind of many characters, kind of seeing them in there, all in the kind of one you know, battle at the end, and it's just a great moment, you know, I find, and so enjoyable to see. For example, the Iron Giant kind of going against Mechagodzilla, you know, that's a kind of really great moment there, and I just loved that, and some real kind of visual, you know, moments of splendor, and just really lovely, you know, kind of interactions as well towards the end, and just this kind of, as I say, this feel-good film, you know, really warm experience, and one that just kind of uplifted me, and yeah, it's just kind of at times, you know, it's just great to see when Spielberg really goes back to his, you know, kind of, at least in terms of tone. I'm not saying this is, you know, kind of as good as, you know, I don't like this film as much as, you know, we all know the films, you know, the many blockbusters, you know, that he made, you know, Jurassic Park, E.T., you know, Raiders, etc. I'm not saying, you know, I like it as much, but it's nice to see, you know, I guess Spielberg going back to this as well. At times, you know, he makes a variety of different films, and it's always great to see what he does. But I love, especially, you know, these kinds of blockbusters that he makes. You know, he is for me the master of blockbusters, and just to see him kind of go back in some regards to his roots, it's just really special to see, and it has got this kind of magic to it as well. You know, at times, and it's just this Spielberg touch. I guess the magic that he brings, it's there. You know, at times, you know, in the film, and it's really nice to see, and it gives me hope. You know, of course, and just kind of yes, kind of takes me back, you know, to my childhood, seeing a film like this, the way it's approached, and just really setting out to kind of be a fun, you know, kind of warm family film, and just a thrilling experience, you know, adventure spirit the film has, and it's really creative as well, and at times it really does live up to its potential. Other times, perhaps it does fall short. I must say that personally for me, I didn't think, you know, overall, you know, it was this kind of great film, but you know, I think definitely at times it really is, and I think, for example, the first kind of half an hour, especially that kind of race sequence, and as well the kind of final 30 minutes, you know, mostly is a great film. But I think overall it's a very good one, and one that I had a really good time with. It's a really warm film. You know, I loved, you know, the kind of the ideas floating around, and just the creativity in this film. You know, it's really kind of nice to see, and you know, inspiring. And I loved a particular reference, of course, The Shining. You know, and that was kind of you know, full on, you know, going back to different scenes, you know, in the film, The Shining, of course, and obviously Spielberg was, you know, a very close friend of Stanley Kubrick, and it's just great to see him kind of paying tribute to The Shining, and in that sense, his friend Stanley Kubrick. And I think, for the record, I enjoyed seeing this, in the kind of way in which it went back to The Shining more than the recent film Doctor Sleep, and that was a full-on kind of sequel to The Shining, and I enjoyed the kind of the way in which The Shining was tributed in this film far more than that, and I just think it was great to see Spielberg treated the kind of this going back to The Shining with such a kind of sincerity, and just seeing the way in which he really creatively kind of went back to this film and kind of played on it. It was just so great to see, and definitely one of my kind of favourite moments of the film. And I really loved the variety of references. I guess some perhaps I've heard that some references did not make the film, even though for example Close Encounters did not, they couldn't secure the rights to that, even though Spielberg did direct that film and write that film as well, but of course, yes, that wasn't featured, but it would have been great to see. But the references that were in the film were great. It's not, as I say, it's not this just this gimmicky kind of film that features all of these references. It really is an original kind of just compelling kind of realised world that's created in this film, and characters that I was invested in, and really enjoyed seeing the kind of interactions, and I liked Artemis as well quite a bit, and I loved seeing the way in which this film ended, and of course Ben Mendelsohn playing really compelling villain at times as well, and just really great kind of way in which all these threads ended. In the end of the film, we have kind of our villain of Sorrento, kind of being arrested, and the characters, the High Five, Waithe, they kind of gaining ownership to the Oasis, and they decide to kind of close the Oasis though on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's a really nice kind of message here in what this how the film wraps up, and kind of the virtual world, and I guess the dangers of this, and the way in which they do close it twice a week, just so everyone can actually spend time in the real world, and it's a really kind of balanced way in which this culminates, and it's a really just special feeling get at times in the way the threads wrap up, and as I say, classic Spielberg at times in the way this ends, just in the kind of I guess not perhaps again, not comparing this being one of the best Spielberg endings, but I think just in the way in which the structure is here, and the way it wraps up, we have just kind of I guess going back to his roots in the way he kind of ends his films, and big kind of dedication to an epic ending in that sense. It's so satisfying, and I really admire the way in which Spielberg kind of really tributed his because he is of course has been in the past a big video gaming fan, and it's just kind of great to see you feel the passion in this this project, and just the way we feel he is everyone involved of course commenting on, and just kind of exploring the virtual world, and video games, and pop culture, and it's just great to see. Of course, Spielberg, is the perfect, I feel, choice to direct this film, and it's just so great to see this, and to experience this film, and really hats off, to all those involved in this, Alan Silvestri, of course, and performances as well, all commendable, and just as well Simon Pegg playing Ogden, and Ogden is a character who as well kind of joins our protagonist different characters in the end, and we learn that he will be taking part in running the Oasis, and it's just great to see just the way that James Halliday is such a kind of investing character, just it was so kind of interesting to see different moments that happened earlier on in his life, and we learn different things about him first, and it was just such a kind of investing way in which this was kind of revealed to us, I guess, and how actively we have the characters we had kind of seeing this and revealing different moments within his life, and that leading them to the kind of the next clues, and how to kind of defeat beat this game, and it was such a kind of really nice kind of marriage of this kind of this character here, and you know, the kind of virtual world, and how the characters were learning things about, you know, this kind of mythic figure, and you know, this kind of eccentric character, also at the same time learning things through their own kind of journey, and you know, experiences together. You know, the feeling of friendship, you know, it's a big theme, you know, in this film, and I really loved at times how that was explored, and you know, at times perhaps, you know, there are different things that could have been better, you know, I think, but you know, overall, as I say, such a warm film, and I loved how you know, greed as well was explored in this film, and just how this you know, came together, was just so satisfying, and you know, I wanted to see perhaps this in the cinema. I didn't get around to that, but you know, finally watching this you know, on Blu-ray was great, and you know, owning this, of course, once again, just a pleasure to kind of you know, and a privilege to own yet another Spielberg in my collection, and to have watched it finally. You know, it's been a while, of course, that I've had this, you know, in my collection, but you know, really enjoyable film, and just a pleasure as always to watch and to discuss here on the channel. You know, of course, a film by, of course, this truly wonderful, legendary individual, Steven Spielberg. So yes, and Silvestri as well. You know, god of you know, film composing, and once again, spot on here. Really, the sense of wonder in this film, you know, is kind of evident so much you know, through the score, and just different moments in the film. You know, kind of action pieces, and just moments of discovery. Yeah, it's the thing about this film. It's really got a sense of wonder at times, especially, you know, the first act, and also the final act as well. Different moments, of course, and the way in which it comes together. You know, it's kind of at times awe-inspiring, and you know, it really is a very good film here. And yes, my final rating for Ready Player One is an 81%. So yes, quite a high score from me, I must say, and it's the one that I did really enjoy. At times, I loved it, and overall, certainly quite a big fan of this. And again, I think, you know, at times perhaps underappreciated work. I think it really is a very commendable film, and very creative, and just, you know, a fun film that is just it has a nice structure, I guess, and at times in the middle of the film, perhaps it went off and it wasn't as anywhere near as, you know, kind of investing for me. But I can't deny how much I loved, you know, quite a lot of this film, and was just always kind of in some way, you know, invested in this story, and you know, from one of the absolute legends, you know, one of the masters, you know, of storytelling, Steven Spielberg, and just to see this film, and you know, just experience the kind of the visual aspects of the film as well, and just to kind of go on this adventure, this thrill ride, you know, of course, this kind of thrilling experience, you know, it's just so kind of energetic, and also it has some, you know, deep, you know, themes that are kind of explored in this film, and you know, legacy, and you know, just it really is a nice you know, film to watch, a nice kind of family film, and at the same time, you know, just such a kind of you know, interesting film, you know, kind of just in this kind of world, this universe that is created, you know, the exposition, of course, that's featured, you know, for different characters, and the kind of the lore of this. That's the thing, the lore of this film. You know, this kind of world that's created, the virtual world, and also, you know, this kind of dystopian world that is the real world in the film. The setting being 2045. I think both kind of aspects here, you know, really offer more potential to be explored, and I'd love to see you know, a sequel to this, and to kind of dive in once again, and you know, I really look forward to as well rewatching this film. Really had a very good time with this, and once again, hats off to Spielberg, an absolute legend, and of course, life-changing director. I wouldn't say this is one of his best films for me, but it's definitely a very strong you know, outing, I think, for Spielberg, and you know, once again proving you know, why he is you know, such a, you know, a master, you know, for me overall the master of blockbusters, and just to see this film is a real treat at times, and a lovely you know, kind of warm, magical at times experience. A really enjoyable film overall, and yes, very commendable. Once again, you know, great to see, and thank you to all those involved, and for bringing this spectacle and this, you know, just magical, charming film to us. And yes, once again, look forward to rewatching this, and just you know, kind of picking up on more of the references, and I guess, you know, kind of learning more about the lore, and you know, really picking up on all the different details in this. It's very very much you know, this kind of rich kind of world, and overwhelming at times because there's so much in this, I guess, you know, and the references and stuff. But you know, it'd be great to see you know, many more times, and just I look forward to that. And yes, this experience was very nice, and you know, as I say, not one of my kind of absolute favourite Spielberg films, but it's a very enjoyable one, and one that's very warm and you know, charming, and just very enjoyable, highly enjoyable film, and you know, certainly one that I had a very nice time with, you know, watching this on a Friday, and just having a very nice kind of evening. And yes, we'll wrap up. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on this film. What do you think of this film? And it'd be great to know, of course, discussions on Spielberg and you know, his filmography. You know, it's great to kind of do that, and yeah, we can kind of talk on his work. And you know, Spielberg, someone who I you know, fully you know, admire more than most filmmakers, of course. You know, for me, he is the master of blockbusters, and just you know, he is one of the absolute you know, geniuses, and such you know, as well, you know, a kind you know, individual artist, and one who is always, you know, kind of nice to see, you know, kind of interviews and all this kind of stuff, and just to hear, you know, his kind of opinions, and you know, on film, and just his experiences in making films. And it's always an inspiration, and just really is. It's one of the, you know, he's one of the individuals who kind of inspires me the most, and you know, I always kind of set aside the time to watch every one of his films. You know, I aim to see all Spielberg's eventually, and you know, I've got a few left still, but you know, I aim to kind of see most of his films over the next kind of you know, year or so. And I've got, you know, of course, Bridge of Spies to watch very soon. And yes, you know, as always, it's been great to kind of discuss and to kind of tribute a Spielberg film, and you know, it's going to be great to see the rest of his films I've not seen yet, and as always, just, you know, constantly kind of rewatching, of course, my favourites, you know, of course, and just, you know, this guy defining my childhood. And it's great to see this film as well, because it does call back, you know, in a kind of nostalgic way to variety of films that he, you know, was involved in, and obviously as well, just you know, kind of 80s films, and you know, 70s, of course, and you know, going all around the kind of you know, cinema history, and you know, blockbusters, of course, and just to see the references in this, and to kind of feel the spirit of, you know, classic blockbusters, you know, I think it's just great to see, you know, to kind of experience, I guess, and just, yes, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on this film, and of course on, you know, variety of Spielberg films if you want. And yes, always a kind of pleasure to discuss. And yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.